Hello everyone, and we are here with the pride of our nation, Deepa Malik ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so we also have a lovely book, Bring It On, which is here. So ma'am, could you tell us a little about your book and its intriguing title, Bring It On?
Yes, this book is, I think, obviously it's my autobiography which I have written, and it depicts my whole journey. But I probably want to say that this is the 25th year of my life on my wheelchair, not my wheelchair, but my wheelchair. And in the 25th year, I decided that let me start jotting down how I found the silver linings in the clouds of adversities, facing all the challenges and finding all the solutions, and then finally reached that silver medal, which was missing on the medal tally of India. Independent India, for almost 7 decades, there wasn't a female Paralympic medal. So it's a journey of a mother, it's a journey of a wife, it's a journey of a woman, it's a journey of a parent. It is not just a sports autobiography, but it talks about the human spirit, how ups and downs can come in your life, and what are the best practices that you can follow to overcome those challenges. So I think it will also be a mental well-being self-help book. Women can identify with it. The mantras that are there of solution finding, adaptability, of accepting the change, innovating new ideas, probably will also strike a chord with corporate people. So it's a book for all ages, for all genders, for all fields. I'm sure people will like it.
Definitely, we also like it, and everybody will. So, ma'am, being a sports person, how was your journey while writing the book as a writer?
The interesting part is I started writing this book when I had completed winning medals for my country, and I also completed my duties as an administrator in sports. I was the president for the Paralympic Committee, and had supported the team to go to two Paralympics, that is Tokyo 2020 and Paris 2024. What was the journey of writing the book? It was of mixed emotions, because you had to remember everything that had happened right from your childhood. One had to navigate through all those memories which were very emotional, very painful, but at the same time, the sense of triumph of, oh my God, I actually found a solution out of that particular situation. So it was a mixed bag. Sometimes I was crying because of pain, and sometimes I was crying because of joy. But yes, I'm happy that the publisher, the editors, and my co-writer Sony has not changed my language. They have not made any fancy changes. It's actually the way I narrated. That is how it has come into the book. So I'm very happy about it.
Wonderful. So, ma'am, how you have your daughter here, and we were earlier talking about that this books also contain things about her as well. In your journey, how your family has been your support system, and also writing this book.
I'll give a lot of credit to my daughters, because I seriously don't know whether I brought them up or they brought me up. Because 25 years ago, when I got totally paralyzed, and when I say chest down paralyzed, that's a lot of medical challenges there, body management is there. So I don't remember if I was giving them a bath or they were giving me a bath, whether I was taking them to the park or they were taking me to play. So we had a lot of reversal of roles on the journey. But whatever we did together. because I needed help. Even if I was trying to cook, they were passing on the utensils, they were passing on the things to me. So I think disability brought us together a lot, and we became more like a team and a set of friends growing up together, filling in for each other's needs as and when. Of course, my daughter's accident and her disability, her getting paralyzed on her body, and then I had to parallelly deal with my disability, her disability, and then we both went on to become the world's only mother-daughter duo to play together and win medals together for the country. So, it's a very different journey that a woman can have. This book is also going to depict as to how I try to create new identities for myself, because the only identity I was left with was that of a disabled woman, a dependent woman, a helpless woman, a paralyzed woman, a wheelchair bound woman. And these were the adjectives I wanted to erase. I wanted to look for that happy Deepa, and I wanted the biker Deepa, the car driver Deepa, the swimmer Deepa, and this quest of finding my own identity. I think I found the purpose of my life and I steered it in the direction. I always say that life taught me the best lessons through disability, and it is disability which gave direction to my life.
Amazing, ma'am. So, okay. So my next question would be, if there is one mindset or one policy you really want to change, what would it be in regards of Paralympics?
I'm fortunate that I was part of the change which was being brought around the policies, and I was one of the first para athletes to become part of this change. I was appointed as the member of the working group in 5-year planning commission, as appointed by the HRD division of sports ministry, to formulate policies. And today I'm grateful to the government, I'm grateful to Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji, and I'm grateful that today the center's policies meant for the Paralympic athletes is one of the best in the world. It is most inclusive. It is offering you job opportunities at par cash awards, at par presidential awards, training funding programs, supporting you with biomechanics through the Target Olympic Podium scheme and various training camps. But you said what change I still want to see. See, change is another word for progress, and progress is always ongoing. So we can definitely sharpen the policies, we can create better infrastructure, we can have more end-to-end accessibility for para athletes in rural areas, so that when they wake up one day and they want to go and play, they don't have to worry about the transportation, they don't have to worry about safety and security, and there are enough opportunities created for them to choose the sport they want to play, and every sport facility to be available for persons with disabilities. So I think that is something we need to work on, and I also want all the states to come forward and revise their policies and make them at par with the able-bodied sports policies.
So, ma'am, while writing this book, you also must have mentioned, of course, you had mentioned your winning moments. How was writing your winning moments been for you?
Winning moments for me were not just the medals. Winning moments were also those where I could change the mindset. For me, making of a ramp in some place which it was not there was equal to winning the Paralympic medal, because the purpose behind my journey has always been to change the mindset and bring in equal opportunities. So to create a better identity and to learn about your abilities beyond disabilities. So I think winning moments are those moments where you kind of achieve the goal, the target that you have set for. So it's a very fulfilling feeling. One enjoys writing about it. But what I'm going to make an appeal to all the readers is most of them through social media, Wikipedia, or any other, everybody celebrated the winning moments of my life. People don't know what pain went behind it. What was the journey behind that winning moment? I think this book will introduce them and the readers to this journey, which is actually behind the winning moments.
Definitely, ma'am. It will shed a light on the things we don't know.
Yes.
And we will also say, like you bring it on. I would also like to ask you that while writing this book, particularly, was there any message you wanted to, deliver to the women out there and the sports women, especially out there?
I've always led with an example. So probably I want the readers to find their own takeaways from the book. It is a journey of a woman who decided to play at the age of 40, leaves her home, starts a journey, and chooses a sport where there are no defined policies, there are no defined funding. So definitely it is a story of not giving up. It is a story of resilience. It is a story of positivity. So yes, I'm sure there are going to be a lot of messages for a lot of people out there who are genuinely trying to look for a positive takeaway from the story.
Ma'am, this
It
book
can also be a kind of a guidebook for somebody who's beginning to play in disability. So there will be a lot of information there that how someone can start the sports career in disability. So I think a bit of a guidance will definitely come through this book.
talking about challenges and obstacles, tell us one thing that was the most difficult, most challenging thing you faced during your career, and how did you overcome that? What was the mindset?
The most challenging thing was I felt that people in their thought processes were more disabled than I am. I was wanting to learn the new body. I was wanting to undergo all new experiences. I wanted to add the word fashion, travel, adventure, sports, fitness to the word disability. But there was so much of resistance, not because I was resisting it was because people around me didn't know what to do about it. So the most difficult part was actually trying to convince people that there is enough ability left in me beyond the disability that I live in. And it started from family members itself. For example, my husband left army just because he felt that he will not be able to travel with me place to place, because now I am a wheelchair user and I'm somebody who's just below paralyzed. So I think that was the most difficult part, making others see the way I want to see my life. But it happened. I found my solutions, and that's the book about.
Lastly, I would like to ask you, what are the few advices you would like to give the youngsters out there who want to succeed in their life, and especially you have been a leader also, so leadership qualities. How they can achieve those leadership qualities and confidence?
Leadership qualities, I think the biggest mantra that I follow is that if you want to be a leader, then your team will never be who you want them to be. Your team will be who you are. So you have to lead with an example. And to become the leader, you have to set the right examples in the right way. You have to master the art that you want to lead, whether you want to be an administrator, sports person, an IT person, a corporate leader, whatever you want to do, you have to continuously upskill and upgrade your personal knowledge. Because a leader is something who leads from front, and to stay in front, you have to always upskill yourself continuously. And my message to everybody would be that life is the only festival that can be celebrated every day. So don't just live, be alive and celebrate. For that, you have to keep your positivity alive. You have to keep some purposeful value addition goals, because when you find the purpose, the real purpose, which is value added goals, you continuously remain inspired and motivated to tread that path.
Lastly, ma'am, you chose this photograph specifically. Is it your favorite?
I think a lot of credit for this picture selection goes to Sachin. He's from HarperCollins, and somehow he felt that this picture spoke a lot about how I made the best of what was left in my body. And I never chose the wheelchair beneath as an excuse to give up on life. So this picture probably is chosen by him, and I was wanting to have a picture on a bike, because I became a sports person in the quest of being a biker. It was very accidentally that I turned a sportswoman.
Really?
But yes, that was the original journey. All I wanted to do was exercise.
That was a surprise.
Yeah, so that's a surprise which is going to unfold in the book. But Sachin felt that he says the picture says 1,000 stories.
Exactly.
And I think every medal that you see in the arms, which I really strengthened. So the arms became the real strength, because the rest of the body doesn't work. So
The picture
I'm happy
itself
that you
gives
like
goosebumps.
it. Yeah. Thank you.
Really inspiring.
Thank you.
And with ma'am, we all will say that bring it on anyways.
Bring it on. Never give up.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
If you could say a few words about Bookswagon as well.
Yeah, I'm grateful to Bookswagon. They're doing a wonderful job. They're creating love for books, and they're reaching the books to far and remote places. And I think that's what we need to do, because habit of reading open the floodgates to positivity, to self-help, to mental well-being. It's a great hobby which is yours to own. So, and I'm grateful to them for this opportunity, and I'm really, really humbled that they have seen value in my book, and they are celebrating my book in this international level huge event. I always say that I played internationally as a sportswoman. I made world records in adventure sports, but this is the first time I'm here in a world book fair, another international platform, but as an author this time. So thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's our honor that you are here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Completely ours, ma'am.
I
Thank you.
You could come.